Hello, everybody. Um, today, I wanted to show you guys how you can beat these new stages for the new godly Benji or Denji. As you can see, I've already gotten him. This is a couple days late. I know I'm late to the party and everything. But yeah, as you can see, I have Denji here. Glitch Glorious. Max stats. No max skill tree though, because I didn't bother to grind the kills yet. I will at some point. But I'm gonna show you guys things you can do to, you know, beat these dungeons and survivals as they are the hardest part of the game. So if we go here, go to dungeon. So the main quest, they want you to at least have 3 modifiers. As you can see in this godly here, beat the dungeon 20 times with 3 or more modifiers. You want, I think, if you learn how to beat solo this, you can learn how to also, let's say, macro it with Tiny Task or your preferred uh, uh, image-based macro. So let me start this here. Go in, and then we'll load up. It will have. You basically, I don't think you need too many units. You just have to worry about the first couple waves. This is dark, so. And I noticed that what is the hazards for this game mode aren't as scary as you might think. For me, it didn't really affect my runs whatsoever. Whenever I decided to mango this game. So yeah. So first, I want to wait and place down any unit. This isn't the perfect team for this. You can use any team really. I find that Kirito is pretty good. I think he's underrated for a lot of stages, or people maybe overhate him, but he's actually pretty decent for a lot of this stuff just because of his DPS. If you don't have Glitched or Glorious, your mileage may vary, honestly. So I'm gonna have this auto upgrading as well. Wait for this to max out, and I'm gonna put him to 4. He's very cheap, so he's very good for this, but he's good for a lot of stuff. For this stage, he's good for early, but as you can see, this is dungeons have 30 waves, and they can take a while to beat. I have runs like they're long compared to many of the game modes in this game. For every per match, let's say I think like maybe 7 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes, depending on how fast you kill stuff. So let's see here. I'm gonna pop this. It's gonna max him out, and then after that, I think to be honest, he could probably solo the entire thing. Um, Even with this minus 60 damage here. Like I usually when I did this, you want to have at least 2 units maxed out to clear everything. It says minus 60, but he'll be doing 400% damage to dark units anyways, so this is fine. You can see here that I've let Denji have his bar fill up, and then I've been affected by the hazard. But as you can see, I don't think you really have to care about it. Let's be honest. You probably won't need glitched. It's a luxury. I say this game is probably just scaling towards glitched at this point. That the rate they're updating the game and power creeping everything. But yeah, so far I've only placed down a total of 3 units, and I've only upgraded 2 units max. Honestly, I'm just gonna let this be here just to tell you guys how easy this is. Like with just 3 modifiers, if you could do more modifiers to get more if you're manually grinding it. That's what I would do. But let's be realistic here. Nobody wants to sit here and grind out the whole thing. When I say nobody, most people don't. And you probably want to get on moving with the other game modes as well. And so you're probably just going to want to macro stuff, and you wanted to use the least amount of units possible so that your macro has less of a chance to mess up and be less complicated overall. So yeah, I'm probably just going to have this play out and then come back when this is over, or I might just do a speed, like a time lapse for you guys. But so far, nothing to worry about. Completely nothing to worry about here. And now we just slowly wait for him to just die. Yeah, look, I'm chunking HP every now and then, every 2 seconds here because 7 SPA. Boom. See, as you can see, 7 minute 35 second run. Easy. If you guys want me to make a macro for this, like a tutorial, I guess I could. But as you guys can see, it is not that difficult. I accidentally restarted the match. And now, what I consider arguably the harder game mode of the two, which is or I guess it can be, but it really depends. The Hell Invasion, which for me, I did manually grind this with all 5 of the modifiers on, and yeah, you can beat it. You can beat it. It's not terrible, except there's one thing I should warn you guys about is that if you guys have noticed, if you guys have played the game mode, that there is a boss that may spawn in the early waves that teleports, and if you don't have anything to combat that, then let's just say makes it just it's just harder. You can lose very easily. Um, I've macroed this stage, and I don't have 100% win rate just because of that issue. But other than that, like, if you don't want to deal with it, you could just turn off this 300% HP. But even then, him TPing may leave you with some struggles here. So should I do it with more modifiers for you guys? I mean, this one you just need to complete it. You don't really, and the fact that if you were to use a macro, they cap the amount of coins you can get to 75,000. So if I'm being honest, if you want to macro this, it's not even recommended that you max out on the amount of coins you can get because you'll, depending on how long you run it for, you'll just be wasting a lot of coins. Anyways, let me, like, it doesn't really matter. If you want to grind it manually, you can add it. For this case, I'll put in 3 modifiers and start. Okay, I'm in the survival game mode with the last modifier for the quest, and honestly, let's just start it. I like to place my idol right here. So, and I like to place my units within her range, as doing so cover most of the beginning track here. I switched up my team a little bit, having Ichigo. I kind of like him for early. I think his DPS is really good. The godly you can have is Gilgamesh. I think you can either have Gilgamesh or uh, Garo is good too. Garo's pass is good. Luffy's isn't bad. Honestly, like anybody to help, you know, boost some form of damage in some way in the early waves. But yeah, I like to place down Idol and Ichigo first, and then when you have enough money, you could try to place Yuta. You don't have to have Yuta. Any slow would be okay as well, like a Tatsumaki. Um, the cheaper the better. I'll be able to use Yuta, so I can. But yeah, I think should be simple enough here. Be able to place that down. I can pop this. And now it should be pretty simple. Again, as I was explaining earlier, not all of your runs will be perfect, but it should be simple. You just maybe have to be lucky that you don't have a boss spawning. Let's say your units were weaker and there was a boss that spawned super early in the first 2 events. And let's say that that boss also happens to teleport across the track. You might have some trouble dealing with it, and the only way to mitigate that really is to either start further back here or dedicate less money into upgrading your idol early, and putting more of it into your units. One thing that I do think you can do, just because for this modifier, it's not the hardest modifier. Having only one is that if you have a Utah, let's say, and you upgrade him a little bit, with Rika here, you can just pop this love beam early and wipe out that teleporting boss because Rika basically kills the whole map. Her nuke is for the whole map. But yeah, if you don't have like something, if you want to, this works if you're grinding manually. Other than that, though, if you're if you're trying to like macro this mango, uh, sometimes I feel like you can do this with tiny tasks, sure. But I've seen people use the other mangoes like Sis Mango. I highly recommend you guys use that mango. It's really good for all these. It's free. Free is good. But yeah, sometimes what I see is sometimes the mango, when you have units that have double like unit placement, like Gilgamesh as well, they'll upgrade this unit, but they won't upgrade Rika, so they won't even click on her. So they won't use this beam. And a lot of times it's iffy when you using the abilities in a mango because you can't really time them correctly. Like if you were to play it yourself. So, but as long as you have some form of CC here, and you just got to be like most of your runs you won't encounter the boss or the enemy that TPs and basically ruins your runs. But if you were to play this all out, should be okay. Should be fine. You'll win most of them. And if you happen to do it over a span of a couple hours, while you do something else, schoolwork, going to school, going to work, sleeping, when you come back, you should have plenty. You should have the unit that drops from here. You should have maxed out coins, and it should be fairly simple. I'm pretty sure this is where you spawn. One thing I would do is just if you do want to use Tiny Task with that seamless retry, just point your camera up like this and start placing your units around this area here because it will cover most of the track and take care of any leaks that come by, assuming that you have Ichigo and or like a really good early game unit and another good early game. It doesn't have to be early game, but it's better if it's early game support with some form of debuff or slow or status effect. But yeah, so 1 minute left. Easy. Fairly simple. Fairly simple. And I've only maxed out 2 units. And I've upgraded Yuta twice. But I think this is the move where Gilgamesh, you didn't need to place him. You did not need to place him here. 3 units. That's one of the key things throughout most of my runs is you're at most just using 3 units. All you need to do. So, but yeah, 3 units, one main DPS, one farm, one support. That's all you need, and that should be simple from there. Okay, yep, that's it for the end of the video. Just to summarize, like basically, I'm just showing you how to play solo the new stages, and sort of a guide to like if you want to start macroing them. Um, and the goal is to macro with the least amount of units as you can. Throughout these, I'm just using Idol, Kirito, Ichigo, and a support. Could be Yuta. 3 to 4. You never have to use 4. It's always the combination of 2 or 3. Or at most 3, really. You can always add more if you want. I prefer to use less, but yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. If you want to make if you want me to do certain videos, let's say, just put a request down. If you need me to show you fully how to do a macro, I can do that too. But yeah, it all depends on you guys if you guys want me to do that. Peace.